Hi, graphics team. I'd like to share with you a great tool developed by Mark Fershtein called Write to DXF. He has built a new feature in SolidCAM's Host CAD simulation control panel that allows us to export toolpath for use in marketing images. The following video will show how to enable the new functionality and use it accordingly. First, go to the Help menu in SOLIDWORKS and click on About SolidCAM at the bottom of the dropdown. Ensure that your build revision is 42893 or greater. If not, download the latest 2012 revision from FileZilla. I am running build 43130, as you can see here. After you've verified your build revision, go to your Windows Registry Editor. The quickest way to get there is by using Windows Search. Type in regedit and click on regedit.exe to bring up Windows Registry Editor. Navigate to SolidCAM 2012 CAM Experimental Mode. Right-click inside the CAM Experimental Mode window and create a new DWORD 32-bit value. Name it Host Sim _enable write to DXF, exactly as shown here. Now, right-click on the value name, select Modify, and change the value data to 1. Finally, close Windows Registry Editor. Now we can export toolpath using the new Write to DXF feature. I think we're all familiar with Life's model image of a bracket with iMachining toolpath. Well, now there's a simple way to recreate that effect on other parts and images for marketing purposes. For example, I would like to overlay toolpath on the image of this connector plate for a brochure. Note the orientation of this photograph. Now, let's go to SolidWorks and open the CAM project used to cut this part. Open the Simulation Control Panel. In Host CAD, you'll find the new Write to DXF checkbox. Enable Write to DXF and play the simulation. In this case, I would like to export the toolpath from both operations. The toolpath that plays on screen will be exported as vectors exactly as you see it. Therefore, it is important to match the orientation of the model as closely as possible to the photograph. Note that Write to DXF does not export the toolpath in perspective, but being that perspective occurs naturally in photographs, it might help to use the perspective view in SolidWorks to match the orientations. After the simulation ends, navigate to your C drive. There, you will find the written .dxf file called sc_hostsim_lines. Note that every time Host CAD simulation gets played with the Write to DXF checkbox enabled, it will overwrite the file on the C drive. Adobe Illustrator will not recognize or open this DXF file. So, we'll have to import it back into SolidWorks and resave it as another DXF file. Go back to the SolidWorks menu and choose File, Open. Navigate to the C drive and open sc_hostsim_lines.dxf. You will be prompted to select the method to open this DXF file. Choose Import to a new part as 2D Sketch. Note when the toolpath gets exported, it is flattened. So choosing 3D curves or model is not necessary and can even take more time during the import process. Click Next to continue through the import settings. In this dialog, we can choose what toolpath we would like to import. Note that each toolpath color is exported to its own layer. In this case, I would like to import by selected layers. 0 is an empty layer, so I will deselect it. Layer 1 shows the link feed Z moves, and layer 3 shows the rapid moves. I will deselect these layers because I only want to import the vectors from Tool 1 and 2 from the Host CAD simulation. Finally, select Finish to import the toolpath. After import, exit the sketch. Notice that the toolpath is inverted. Rotate the view 180 degrees by holding the Shift key and pressing the up arrow 2 times. Now, we are ready to resave this DXF file for use in Adobe Illustrator. Go to File, Save As. For this example, I'm going to place this file in a Write to DXF folder I've created on my C drive and name it connectorplate_toolpath. Click Save and choose the output settings in the Property Manager. Here, I'll choose to export the current view, then click OK to accept. The next window that appears allows us to clean up the current view. For this example, I don't need to clean up any entities. So I will select Save. Next, open the DXF file from Adobe Illustrator. Scale the vectors to fit the default artboard size. Note the option to merge layers. Whether you choose to merge the layers or not, they will still become merged. Click OK to open the DXF file. Note that the toolpath is many line segments. So, working with the vectors may be challenging in some cases. Nevertheless, you can make edits to the vectors before copying and pasting them into Adobe Photoshop. For this example, I'm going to separate my interior toolpath from the exterior and put them on separate layers. I'm going to change the stroke weight for each. Let's use 1 1/4 points for the interior, since it has a larger step over, and we'll use the default for the surrounding toolpath. Let's change all the toolpath color using the CMYK color scale by setting the sliders to 15, 100, 94, and 5. Note that you are free to play around with the tools in Illustrator and choose whichever settings you feel look best. Now, I feel I'm ready to copy my toolpath into Photoshop. Select all and copy. Now, let's go back to the image of the connector plate and paste the vectors. We'll paste as Smart Object and click OK. Now we have our toolpath overlay on our connector plate image. Next, scale the toolpath to closely match the image and press Enter. Then, after rasterizing the layer, we can use the Warp tool to make the final adjustments to the toolpath. After using some additional effects in Photoshop, this was the end result. It looks pretty good. Keep in mind that you are free to play around with the tools in Photoshop and choose whichever effects and settings you feel look best. Here are some other images I've created using the new Write to DXF functionality in Host CAD. I hope you too can find it to be a valuable tool and a huge time saver when creating images for marketing purposes. Enjoy!